So then the Lexington story happened after you were married?
No,
No.
it happened before we were.
The Lexington was sunk in May of '42.
That's right.
Wow, so not long before.
You know, they were all three of them were aboard ship at one time. But then when the Naval Air Station opened up as a Naval Air Station, then
I remember that.
your grandfather got transferred as a permanent employee at the Naval Air Station. And so he was taken off of the Lexington. Louis was the one who was at risk there because he's the only one that knew how to swim. Tony could manage to get through the water and pass the tests or the examinations or whatever they had to do in order to remain in the service in the Navy aboard ship. But he couldn't swim well enough, so Louis had to make sure that he kept his head above. And then, of course, the big waves would come, and so then they were like going down a slide, and on one side and then of the ship, and then they decided, oh well, let's go on the other side of the ship; it'll be easier. And so they had to climb back up and go down the other side. So it really was, a scary thing just to think about, even if you didn't know who it was. But they managed to.
So they climbed back on the sinking ship to go to the other
And
side?
went on over the other side, yeah. I thought, why would they do that? Why would they just go on out with the tide, wherever it was going? You just don't do that.
Well, you don't know if the boat goes over, it might go over them.
Well, see, that's what it was. It was tipping already as they were coming down this side, and that's what they were afraid of, that it would go clear on over. So
they made a good decision.
Hopefully, it turned out to be a good decision. The boys that were on the Lexington were still on the Lexington. I mean, when they were finished, they got off and they got time off, leave. I don't know how long the leave was. I should know. I probably knew at the time, but I have no idea. But the war was still on, and people were still being sent overseas, which my husband was. John was born, and he was 2 months old when my husband went overseas, and then he was over there for 2 years. So that when he came back, John was 2 years old, and a little bit more. But I'm trying to think of how the thing went. See, my memory's going too, so I'm not doing as well with memory. But anyway, let's see.
So he just went away for 2 years, and John was just a little over 2 years old.
John was over 2 years. I still have the papers up in my room. Because what happened to the paper that we sent to the people?
Doesn't happen to be there, so we like the verbal thing.
Well, I have to think what the story's about anymore. I can't remember anymore.
Where were you living when Uncle Jim was overseas?
I lived in an apartment on Chestnut Street in Alameda. And I lived there when he came back. And then we moved into Navy housing, and then later we went to Rhode Island for 3 years. And
Now, where was Vincent born?
In Rhode Island.